Oh, come on, Joe. Give us a little something. Just a little bit. Nice hair and beard. They're both looking, dare I say, Deathstrokey. Sounded weird, but you get what I'm saying. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. All right, well, still very much up in the air of what exactly Mr. Zack Snyder is going to be shooting for additional photography when it comes to Zack Snyder's Justice League, a.k.a. the Snyder Cut. We're all kind of wondering, we're all anxiously awaiting for him to drop like an image and kind of be like, hey, guess what? Shit's happening. I mean, like I said before, I hope we get an image on set, whatever set they're doing, of Mr. Ben Affleck back in the bat suit. That'll be a momentous occasion. Yeah. It'd also be, if you're eating Cajun food too, hey, power to you while you're looking at the image. Jeez. But no, it would be amazing. And I, for 100% believe that Ben Affleck is definitely going to be shooting additional scenes. Now, when it comes to Joe Manganiello here, I guess, who was talking to Collider, we're going to show a little clip right here in a little bit, but he was talking to Collider, and they asked him, of course, about the additional photography for the Snyder Cut, because we know that his little scene at the end got repurposed, retooled a little bit, you know, which was not for him. He didn't do any reshoots, but Mr. Jesse Eisenberg did, and talked about a League of Our Own and this, that, and this, because essentially what that scene was doing was setting up Ben Affleck's Batman movie, which a lot of people were actually talking about that today, you know, when it comes to this. Well, let's look at the clip here. Let's first check out what he has to say. Good old Joe. We love Joe. Nerd at heart, but of course, you know, he's just a big, brooding, handsome dude. So let's go ahead and make it wide. All right, here we go.
If I was a part of it, that wouldn't be my place to announce that. That would be Zach's place. So, you know, whether or not that's happening, you know, that is an answer that is above my below my NDA level, or whatever you want to call it.
It's like above, below. Which one is it? But no, it's awesome. I just love him, how he's explaining everything. And you know, it makes sense. Like, these people, they can't say anything. They can maybe tease. So you got to watch, you know, watch social media, watch anybody who's like part of the DCEU. I mean, I tell you what, I mean, it just pay attention to social media stuff, you know? But when it comes to Deathstroke, I mean, I highly doubt that they need to do anything more with him. I don't even think, I mean, if it comes to that scene, because a lot of people are wondering, well, wouldn't they just want to just remove that scene? Because that scene was essentially supposed to set up the Ben Affleck's Batman. So if we're not setting up Ben Affleck's Batman, why would we need it? Well, it's not out of the cards yet. We're just waiting for a good guy with the chin to sign on with HBO Max to do his Batman and Batman series. And last I heard, I mean, before, I always told you guys, reluctant. But of course, since then, he's, of course, signed on for the Flash movie. And then the last I heard is the fact that he might be, you know, finally going, okay, maybe I want to do this. And I think what's going to bump him is when he actually shows up for one of these additional shoots and he's back in the bat suit. He's going to feel that power that you have, that all actors say when you first wear that suit. Yes, it's restrictive, and it probably is, you know, very pinchy in the balloon area. So I totally understandable. I think what was I watching? I was watching some behind the scenes stuff yesterday, and I was talking about it was for Batman Begins, and it was how like Christian Bale was in the suit, and I'm like, God, that's got to be a rough suit to me, especially that one, because that was a suit where you really didn't have a lot of like neck movement or whatever. But no, but I just feel that when Ben Affleck gets in that suit, then he's gonna be like, all right, I'm down, let's fucking do this. But at the same time, you look at his IMDb, he's got a lot of shit. He's got a lot of shit that's coming, you know, in the future. He's got a lot of projects that he's involved with. So. But I know he'd probably want to go out with a bang, and he's got that fucking that script just sitting there. But the fact of the matter is, even if it's not going to set up, even if that doesn't happen, Ben Affleck's Batman doesn't happen, they should still have the scene. Okay, it doesn't need to be like fucking like the MCU, where, you know, they always got to constantly like set up stuff, and then, you know, even if it doesn't go anywhere, if there's no potential, even if there's no potential Justice League season 2, still include the scene. It's a cool fucking scene. It's Deathstroke and Lex Luthor talking. Come on a yacht. We got to keep that scene. But when it comes to additional photography, I mean, I know some people were asking me too, like, are we going to actually see that scene where he breaks out Lex or whatever? I mean, the last I heard about that scene was, what I was told was you don't really actually see that scene. It's just implied that there was a breakout of Arkham and, blah, blah, blah. You kind of just like hear about it, kind of similar to Batman breaking into LexCorp in BVS, you don't really see it. It would be awesome if we actually saw it, but we see the aftermath, and we saw a little bit of camera footage, which was just enough. Him swooping down like he did. I mean, that was just enough for all of us to just be like, that was awesome. So maybe we'll see something like that. I don't know, but I know that there was that stunt previs that they did. So maybe there was something shot, because they had to get all that ready to go before, and they look like they had. And from what I know, Snyder himself is the one that films those damn things because he wants to get an idea of where he wants to put that camera. So maybe that if they did shoot it, that would get, put back in there. But the last piece of information that I got was the fact that it wasn't actually done, and we're just going to have it implied. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Things are changing. Like I said, I mean, the 214 that we were getting, that we would have gotten 2.5 years ago, is not going to be the same as what we're getting now. 4 hours plus, my God. And with this additional photography, things are going to end up playing out the way that they weren't intentionally going to, because pandemic, there's a lot of things. And then it just could be like, hey, over 2.5 years, here's a better idea. I have a better idea, that includes, this character. Instead, this character is going to be involved somehow, whether it's like I said, when it comes to the additional photography, I would say there's going to be some nightmare elements that they would have to shoot, and it probably wouldn't be as difficult to shoot as opposed to like final act stuff that had the entire cast. I think that's going to be all good, and I don't think there's going to be any need for that, because when it comes to scheduling and everything, and trying to get everybody packed, that's going to be a pain in the ass. And then if you start just put yourself on a green screen and we'll all put it. They did that with the Joss Whedon reshoots. We saw that, and it was just shitty. It's kind of shitty, You see Diana and Bruce, they're sitting there, and their eyes they're supposed to be looking at each other, but they're not, because it wasn't lined up properly. I don't know. It's all just very up in the air. But when it comes to Joe, I know there's like a rumor too about part of the nightmare. He's like in the Batcave with Joker, and there's something going on with that there was a possibility of that. Somebody even made a fan art of that, which I thought was pretty cool. And then it was kind of like interesting. Okay, was that going to be something that's going to be later? Or does stuff shift around, and Joe is going to end up doing something like that? Is Deathstroke going to be part of the nightmare? Yeah, that would be crazy. When that whole thing came about, it was like, wow, wouldn't that be nuts if they repurposed some things, and then all of a sudden it did have those two in the nightmare, or at least one of them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But now it's like, hey, well, we got that Leto guy. What's he doing right now? Maybe he'll be down for it. But of course, he's preparing for Tron. But then again, additional photography, you never know what's going to happen with that. But yeah, so there you go. Yeah, they're not going to say anything. Joe's not going to say anything, because I love the fact that he says it's all on Zach. If Zach wants to put it out there, wants to post an image or something like that, he's going to put it out there. Okay. But other than that, he's keeping his mouth shut. I don't think there's a need for him to do any additional photography unless it has something to do with the nightmare scene. I don't think they have to do anything with that. Well, it's not a post-credit scene, but that scene with Lex Luthor on the yacht. I don't think they have to do anything for that. It would have to be for something else. If another idea came into Zach's brain over the 2.5 years, which I'm sure has happened, then he's going to include that. But and to me, it just seems like it would have to be something that has to do with that nightmare timeline, to be honest. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, that'd be cool. I mean, it'd be a nice little surprise, nice little everything. There's still going to be surprises, even though we know a lot what's happening with this fucking movie. But hey, it's all good, guys. It's all good. So there you go. That's my 2 cents of the whole thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm doing this shit. And then, of course, subscribe to the second channel for clips from the live shows, and follow me on the sock meds that are down below. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook's there too. Patreon if you want to help out the pirate ship, and shirts. All right, guys. Talk to you later.